Can you do vibe coding in SAP Integration Suite, and how would that actually work? So here I have a scenario. It is a pretty simple scenario. We can trigger it, obviously. So we just have here also new send message where we can go in, run, and we can see that it is being processed and it gets some payloads and stuff like that. I have a simple script here. And I want to make some modifications to it. So we can open the script here, open structures, and this does some modifications on it. We can go and say, let's open it in SAP or in Figaf. And we go into the ID. Here we have the Figaf ID. We can find the test case that we have. So it's this one. And it also have a result, so we can just run it. And this runs on the Integration Suite tenant. If we want, we can go in and say, hey, lowercase. And then we press AI. And then we'll see if it changes all the values to lowercase. This normally takes a little while for it to process, so let me just pause. So now we got a response here 24 seconds later. And if we run it, we can now compare the results, and we can see all the values is now lowercase. Not the best idea, but anyway, that will work. So let's just upload this. So now we upload it back to the SAP Integration Suite. And that means we can open here the Integration Suite again on the same iflow, and we can then see, okay, what happens in this case. We can see that our modifications to lowercase has been added. Probably not the ideal way to do search replace in the context, but that's, yeah, what's going on here. So now we have created this. What if we wanted to do something from scratch? So the idea is then we just go back to our iflow here in the Figaf tool. Select the iflow, we'll create a new script, we'll create it as XSLT. Voice. And we can take the test case we already created here. It's a new step, so we don't have any payloads that we want to use, but we can take this one. And we do not have an expected output. But if we already have one, like here, we can go in and say, hey, let's use the output from this. So this is an IDOC that we are processing the structure of. So if I wanted to create an XSLT for this, I would go in and say, here, I will use the minified payload. And I would add the expected minified payload. And the reason I'm adding as minimized is then we're not getting tokens for all the spaces and stuff like that for the following. Then I can create and we can then here. So now we can see the result is back. We can see it's actually done some lookups. I would not say that this is an ideal way to do the lookups. I would probably have been using the qualifiers instead, but let's see if it produces something useful. And we can do the comparison again, and we can see that there's some differences on the date that it's not able to produce correctly. I guess that's okay. We should probably find out how to select the dates. But we can also see that it uses the index number, not ideal. So I guess this would more be to say go into the null. VE partner should instead be found by, let me just see here. as null with DP, and leave LF should be found as the issue. We can probably also add to, let's see. So we can now see that it has performed a select based on these qualifiers. We can run it. Now we just run it on the local system, and still we can do our compare, and it seems like it's okay for these elements. We can also run it on the integration suite. It takes a little longer for running it there. We deploy it in an iflow and then run it. This would give you the ability to actually run all the more complicated XSLT functions. Still the same result. So this is a simple way to upload it. We just press upload. Now we will upload it into our iflow. And we go back, we refresh the iflow, select edit, and then we just add an XSLT mapping. We can now select the mapping we just created, map invoice, save as version, 15, deploy. Whoop. And if we then wanted to, we should obviously also check our test case here, the end-to-end test case that we obviously would expect to be changed, because we have now added a new element. So we go and we run it. There's a few steps to learn how to create test cases, run them, etc. And now it will run. Let's see. So we now see the test result. We can see we are getting an unexpected, and that's because we just added a new element. We can use the diffs. I guess that's okay because we added a new element, and the diff, and then an unexpected. So all that, this is as we would expect it. We go and update the test case. And now if we run it again, we would see the same. Everything is green, and we have now a documented way we can test and manage this. This is showing like the end-to-end flow of how you can use both the testing tool and the vibe coding to build and maintain your iflows. I hope you enjoyed this. Want to try it out? You can go try it at figaf.com. Notice that the vibe code is still in development, so it is a preview that we would be adding hopefully soon, maybe with some improvements on this flow. But for now, this is what we have. Thank you.